Good morning. Come on in. Let's have a conversation today about what it means to refresh your life screen. We refresh our screens. And so we're going to talk about what it means to refresh the screen of our lives. Um, when you get here, please let me know you're here. Like to say hello. We're right on this time. So we're right at 10:45. Someone is here. Please let me know you're here. There's probably a few more. It takes a while um, for the counter to catch up with the people who are on. It is a wonderful day. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Benson. Wonderful to see you here and wonderful to know that you're doing well. Yeah, I kind of know it's you, J. Harvey. Good morning. Good morning. Well, we're going to kind of jump right into this. Good morning, uh, Associate Pastor Allen. Good morning. How are you? All right. So today we're going to talk about what it means to refresh your life screen. Those of you who are computer savvy, most of you you're either computer savvy or phone savvy because you're here. So there are times that you're using your device where it freezes, or where it's slow, or where you seem to lose some things along the way. You go to messages and your messages are missing. Good morning, Elder Broderick Gordon. It's wonderful to have you here. Good morning, my Amy. Good morning, uh, Peggy Robinson. So when that happens, when the screen freezes, or you feel like you have lost some things, you go to your messages and there's that last message there and all the rest of them are missing. You got one of two things that you can do. You can either turn your device completely off and turn it on again and hope that that makes it, or you can reboot or refresh your device. And what I'm coming to encourage us today is to refresh, to reboot these devices of ours, these hearts of ours, these souls of ours. There's so much going on in the world that's sad and disheartening. There's so much going on. Good morning, my elder. Good morning. There's so much going on that is difficult to navigate. A lot of hate going on. A lot of not unconcern for others, lack of empathy, no altruism. I don't know where it went. It's gone. And so it's important for those of us who know and love the Lord to reboot, to refresh, to get back to a place where we know, to center again, to center in a place where we can look at life from a different lens. Far too often we look at life through the same lens that the world gives us. Those of us who watch the news, those of us who watch anything that is discussing what's going on in the world, we tend to adapt their attitude for what's going on in the world when we know better. When those of us who know and love the Lord know that God is in control. So our best place to be is in the center of his will. And so if we're in the center of God's will, what it's going to take for us to stay there is for us to continue to refresh. There's that little sign that's up at the top of your screen. If you're on the computer, that little half circle with an arrow, that is the refresh button. And when we click on that, it refreshes the screen. I'm encouraging us today to refresh the screen of our lives. There's some scripture that gives us some understanding or some background or some foundation for the refreshing. When we look at Psalm 23, which all of us know, in the third verse it says, "He restoreth my soul." That's refresh. That's a refreshment that when we are in the center of God's will, when we know that God is our shepherd and that we shall not want, and we're able to, in our hearts and in our souls, walk through some green pastures, because God will give us that kind of peace. It will do what? It will restore our soul. It gives us that refresh for our lives that we need. We've got to do it. because otherwise we find ourselves stuck, frozen in a place. And you ever notice that with the face you get frozen on is never your best, it's never your best shot. So in our lives, that place we get frozen in is never our best life. It's never in that place where there is tranquility or where there is growth. We never get stuck in the place where we're doing well. We get stuck on the ugly face, the ugly part of life. And so I'm encouraging us this morning to not allow the device that is our lives to get caught on frozen, to not have enough juice coming in, enough power coming in that keeps us continually flowing with what it is that God has placed inside of us. And when we are clear about that, good morning, my daughter, if when we're clear about what it is that we're supposed to be doing, what God has called our lives to do, then we don't get stuck. We don't get in that place where we're frozen in the ugly face. We are able to refresh, reboot. And sometimes it's a hard reboot. Sometimes it's a hard refresh. I know that on a phone, particularly, we can do what's called a hard reboot, a hard refresh, where we take the whole system, shut it down, and reboot it. On the computer, it's the restart sometimes that we are able to immediately just refresh and get back on track. So my encouragement to us today is to remember that, as Lamentations 3:23 tells us, God is faithful and his mercies are new every morning. God gives us a refresh every single day. And if God gives us the refresh, how dare we stay frozen? How dare we stay stuck? How dare we stay on that place where we're not functioning fully because we haven't allowed the refreshment of God to reboot us, to push us to go forward. So I need you to go forward today, pushing the refresh button on your life screen, knowing that when you do it, that God is going to restore your soul, and that God's mercies are new every morning, and God is faithful. And since God is faithful and gives us new refreshment every morning, we need to just hold on to it, embrace it, so that we can move forward and not be stuck in the frozen ugly face, but to know that we are moving forward and doing, and that all pistons of our heart and of our soul are in working and in running order. God bless you all. Know that I love you. Know that I really want us to be our best self, even in the midst of a pandemic. For there are two kinds of people in the pandemic: those who are watching what it does, and those who are embracing what God can do. Look for the opportunity. Don't get stuck. Refresh your life screen and be encouraged. I'll see you soon.